hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, it's where I talk about twin flame process, twin flame experience and consciousness. So this reading is going to be about what we can expect moving into this new moon, which is coming on Saturday the 13th in the UK. And it is a Pisces moon. So we're coming to the end of a cycle in regard to spirituality. New moons represent the dark half of the psyche, so they represent the ego. And what they've been showing me lately through this week already so far is that we are experiencing heartbreak, and it's coming through the physical body. So you might be getting sensations around the heart in terms of feeling a lot of pain. It's really heart-centered energy in that the spiritual experience of being human is about love in the physical realm. So where you're completing cycles inside of yourself, you might notice that you have memories coming up repetitively, or you might just have every memory that you've ever had coming up to be recognized again around where you have not had love. So in essence, the manifestation through your physical body at the time of the completion of the cycle is in clearing every experience that you've ever had that's related to not having desires met, expectations met around love. And in effect, that is heartbreak, releasing heartbreak and accessing heartbreak inside of yourself. So the thoughts that you have in terms of that are so that you can access more of the energy of heartbreak. So there's a link between the heart and the mind, in that the mind fulfills the role of the heart and the expectation of the heart as it is in physical form to experience what is divine source union, and in that energy is love. So it's like a wheel turning inside yourself to kind of around that energy, basically. So it's just like heartbreak on top of heartbreak on top of heartbreak, basically, the wheel turning. But in that there is a lot of release, but it feels like a build up into what could be really quite like a crescendo of energy inside yourself that is linked from the mind to the heart in what has been experience a heartbreak. So just know that, right? So your thoughts are linked to your heart in this time that we're going through right now. As it builds, we're going to reach an end point because it's a completion of a cycle, and then it'll all clear some point after that new moon, which, like I say, is Saturday in England. There'll be a release also. It's like your energy will rise again, and you'll begin again. You'll start again in the physical world. So you might have lost your impetus to get moving in the physical world and do things in the physical world as well. You might have lost all your energy. You might have lost all your feeling of get up and go. You might have lost all your feeling of willpower. You might have lost all your feeling of strength in your physical body. You might have lost all your feeling of strength just in like getting on with life. You moving around, using your brain. You might effectively, that my guides call it, being taken offline. So it's like when they move you into a position where you're going to complete a cycle inside yourself, it's like you're not able to do anything in the physical world. So this is how we're going to be experiencing it. So you'll just be able to maybe lie down and let it roll through you as it moves through you until it clears, and then we're going to rise again into a brand new beginning in the physical world. So that's what's just jumped out there, and feeling really more connected to the earth again and more connected to present lifetime, the present moment, not having all these memories of the past coming up, not having all these feelings around the memories of the past coming up. So that will be cleared, and then we'll come into a new beginning post that moon. So just know, if you're going through that experience, which is quite a negative experience, quite a dark, it's the dark side of the moon. So it's the ego being attached to your physical experience, and it's the ego being attached to your emotions. So it's all about how you feel about your current life and what you've had in this lifetime, and how it's not met up to what you feel you should have had in this lifetime, or your expectations. And in fact, it's all about love. So, and it's the spiritual experience. So the spiritual experience that we have as a human being is coming here and expecting to love. And if you haven't had that experience in this lifetime, then you've not had your spiritual experience of an alive experience. People that are going through twin flame portal is what they're saying. So the whole experience is like a portal into coming into this energy of love and meeting that love in the physical life. So having that love that you feel is your right, because that right is your spiritual experience as a human, having that experience in the physical dimension. So we're moving through to that always. I know it always seems to be just out of reach, right? And just like in being like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And sometimes it feels like it's never going to be fulfilled, because it's never the thing that arrives, right? It's always the thing that's just ahead of you on a linear path, on its way. But however, that's just how it is, and it will be there at some point in the physical dimension for you. But your actual journey here is to move into a much freer energy around love before you can have love. So it is the releasal of the ego and what is tied to what is a very mundane understanding of love in its narrowest form into a expanded energy of what love is in its most magnificent form, is what you move towards. So when you get it fully in the physical world at that completion point in your process, it's the magnified energy of love. So it's everything that you ever wanted or expected and more. And remember, right, there's another thing here that's going on. It's about your vibration. So as you move through life, wherever you're standing in relation to your present moment, you're either putting something in your vibration that you want, or you're removing something that you don't want. And you're doing that through the mind. So the mind is the creator of the experience. So when you're bringing forth these memories that are attached to your heart, what you're going to be doing is clearing from your vibration anything that that you don't want there showing up. And you're going to be bringing into your vibration, it's like you're just doing a sweep, right? A mind sweep, where you're grabbing anything that that's from your previous experiences and putting it in your vibration so you can have it moving forward, right? So that's every single little thing from when you were like a child to now that you wanted from love. And that is in terms of how you want to feel and how you want to be gratified. So this physical manifestation of love that you come into, which is what you call physical reunion process. So it's a process that emerges from physical reunion point onward, is the gratification of the physical dimension. So it's all the senses being gratified in what would be love, you could term it sex, but it's more than that. It's everything. It's sight, smell, taste, touch. It's everything, so you'll be getting it all. But that's not yet, because this moon is about that mind sweep that's going on through the heart. So you see this heart kind of moving in a circle and the mind moving in a circle, like two roundabouts. And they're just doing work together in what they're bringing forward into your reality, basically. So it's just another aspect, which is everything's always an aspect of how we move forward, but we don't move forward in a linear process. We move forward in a vibrational process, which is really about what you put in your vibration. So that's what this is about. It's completion. So it's completing vibration. And for that to be done, it's not all about, it's not all about just walking forward into the light, because we've got ego here. We've got dark and light play out. It's always going to be about the two evolving aspects, the mind and the heart. So I just got cut off by the door going, but I'm back now, right? So basically we're going through a retrieval process, and then we're going to start again after this moon. So if you're feeling really low and you're feeling really like despondent, and or grumpy or whatever it is that's coming up inside of you, just know that that's what's going on. Basically, it's a good thing, really. It might not feel like it at the time you're going through it, but it's all about moving forward. And we've got to just do that sweep and sweep it all up. And then we can clear that up, vibration up. And then we can be moving forward from what is, like we say, end of a cycle and a clarified vibration, and moving forward into what can come from that. So in a sense, it's really, really important, because this is the last moon before we hit spring on the 21st, and spring is really a start of a new cycle itself. Really good cycle coming with spring. Really good energy, really bright energy, really positive energy coming with that. So it's like we're clearing up before we hit that. And then just moving into the spring, everything is going to get so much better in the world and in our processes and inside of ourselves. So, okay. Let's get some cards out for this moon then. Okay, so wisdom, Hermit, which is number 9. So completion of a cycle again, completion in wisdom. So, your higher self is always organising what's running through you as well. So just know that they've shown me a lot of interesting things lately. One of the interesting things that I've been shown is that the vibration that we have, so we think of everything in this lifetime in a very personal way, and we think of it as in a very individual way, because we're here for an individual experience, and that's the ego talking to us, right? So it's all about what you're going through on a personal level and what your life looks like and all this kind of stuff, right? Really physical kind of understanding, right? And a separation, feeling a separation from everybody. And what they've been showing me lately is how when the people pass over that you've known, anyone, particularly family, also friends, everyone throughout history, they could show up in your vibration. So, your vibration is what you always are. It's like your eternal beingness, and people call it soul or spirit. But there's no differentiation between that in a living person and that in a person who's passed over, because you're always vibrational. It's just that you look physical. You're always vibrational, right? Always. But how they've been showing me is that the people that pass over, that just go back to being just vibrational, they can still experience the physical life through you. So if you call on your ancestors, or maybe sometimes even you don't, but you do, but you don't know you're doing it. They're showing up in your vibration basically, and that you harness them into your vibration, and this is how you can really gain new talents and new skills and things like this really easily, is by calling on those ancestors, and those ancestors come into your vibration so they can enjoy the feeling of being physical again through you experiencing the physical reality. So just know that as well, because when you understand that and you can harness that inside of yourself into your vibration, it's a really freeing energy, because it allows you to believe, know that anything's possible. Really, anything's possible for you, because you've got so many people that aren't living anymore that have your back and want to experience through you what could be really good and really valuable for you. All the things that they've enjoyed and they've loved in their lives, or the things that they didn't put enough time enjoying and loving, they would come into your vibration, be part of your vibration, so that you can have more of what is loving for you, more enjoyment, more happiness, more thriving, more finding things that you can enjoy to do and be and take part in, that kind of stuff. So we got all that, as we're sweeping around in these circles, which is like this karmic circles. And that's really what Pisces is about. It's about the spirituality, which is the fact that vibration is everything and everyone that's ever existed. It's all the knowledge that's ever existed in every human being that's ever existed. And that can all be in us. Everything can be in us through us, in what looks like just a individual lifetime. And also when you get those feelings around, is this it? Is this it? Is this my life? Is this all that it is? Because sometimes, you know, you've got to go really low into that ego to be in that energy on this journey. It's just knowing and understanding, no, it's not it. It really is not it. What you're seeing and experiencing sometimes in your physical, in the physical dimension through your physical existence as just this singular person is so not all there is and all that is possible. And this is throughout eternity, you know, and ultimately we don't die. And like I say, you're just going to go and be part of somebody else's vibration that's living. So, you know, they talk about how, people talk about how, you know, it's like when you're gone, and that's it, and you don't experience the physical dimension anymore. It's not really true, because you do, because you become part of other people's vibration and you experience it through that. So you've always got a vested interest. That's why we have connection with the other side and why they talk to us, because they have a vested interest. It's not about them, you know, you just go and then forget about it and something else. You still have a part in this world and how people exist, and coming through the people that you know or you've known, right, or that you're linked to, like I say, ancestrally. Right, next card. So we'll look. Process, the Hanged Man. Healing, Knight of Pentacles. So it's very healing energy that we're going through. It's karmically healing, which means we're healing everything that's ever existed. And when we're healing everything that's ever existed in the physical world, what we're healing in that is that we're healing any expectations that weren't met, any limiting in the physical dimension, from not thriving in the physical dimension is what we're healing. So we're bringing this world into effect, into being somewhere where we will thoroughly enjoy it all the time, not just sometimes, not just occasionally. And when you look back through your life and you think, well, I don't appear to have enjoyed this life as much as I should have done. Where was this life showing up for me? Understand that the process of you having that life is about making life itself a more enjoyable thing to be in. For everybody that comes after you, which you'll also be a part of, because you're going to be part of their vibration. So your experience doesn't end. It continues throughout, even in physical. So there we have that. Wheel of Fortune, so it's turning of the wheel again, and it's just like clicking into place for a new understanding to come in. So we're always magnifying understanding in this physical world around what spirituality is, and how vibration functions in a physical form, and how we do fulfill destiny in terms of our own individual process and the whole process of humanity as a whole, which is an experiment, as you know, in divine energy, in moving into a reality of love. And then we've got Two of Cups coming out in the middle, so that's twin flames, which is the experience that we're having right now, the experience of being separate from love and separate from everything that could be a dimension of love. So really, when you go through your process and how you are held back from love, that's what it is. The process is for. It's for you to come into a greater understanding of everything that love entails in the physical dimension. So an understanding of what love is and what is not love, basically, is your process. And then when you've got that process finished, you've only got in your vibration a representation of what is love. And then you can bring it forward to yourself in the physical dimension. But what we're doing now, like I say, is clearing everything out of the vibration as well that isn't love. So all the memories that you get coming up, bits of conversations, bits of past engagements, activity, engagement with another human being, like in the physical dimension, conversation, stuff like that coming up, to clear it, to clear the vibration of it, to clear negativity out of the vibration is where we're at right now. So this is what's going on. Clarity, Knight of Swords, so bringing in clarity, cleared vibration is what clarity is. It's in the mind as well. The function of the mind is only in creating the vibration. It's not about the vibration creating the mind. So it's not like you go from cleared vibration to clarity in the mind. You go from clarity in the mind to clarity in the vibration, because the mind creates a vibration whilst you're here to bring you what it is in the physical world that you desire. So when you're looking at what's going on in the mind, you've got to look at just understanding that has to go through the mind, not stopping it going through, but being the broader perspective on what is going through the mind. So programs running and deleting, memories coming, they're deleting, programming, right? So that's what it is. So it's got to come through the mind first. The clarity is just achieved by the thought. So it's going to be like, maybe you're going to get a sudden thought of a memory, and then it'll go. And the closer you get to clearing the vibration, the more you get the thought coming up, and then you get completely just leaving the thought. So it's not, the earlier on in the process, the more you're dwelling in thought completely. And you're like thinking. And it's all the past coming up, and it's all the memories coming up, and it's all the expectations coming up, and it's all the ego coming up, right? And then as you clear through to it's less and less in the vibration as you move forward, as you're clearing. And then as you get to the end, it's just the pop of a thought, and they go, right? So at the very end of the process. And that's what you're going to experience now, because it's in that end of process energy, which is Pisces, the end of the cycle of spirituality. So no matter where you are in the process, you're going to experience it this way in Pisces, as it clears, like snapping through thoughts, basically. In terms of this person you're connected to, desires, we got down here, and it's opposite healing. So effectively you're healing your desires not being met at this point as well, through of that person that you're disconnected from. That person as well, if you're you can go through this process in loads of different ways. So it's basically feeling like there's the one, right? It's the energy of true love, of there being just the one person that you know could be like everything to you, basically, the one. So you might know them, you might not know them. You might have just had all your life a feeling that there is the one, and the feeling of being separate from that energy, which effectively is presented to you whilst you're going through a physical life as another person, because everything in this physical world is presented as a physical thing. Some people might experience it as an animal. Some people might have that feeling of oneness. It's like a pet, something like that. There's no saying where it could come from. But as it comes into physical to be experienced, it's something physical. So it's not the illusion here. It's something, that's where you get the weight of the ego, and where you're clearing what is in the desires not being met. It's the weight of the ego. It comes through the heart, sadness through the heart, and the desire not being met. And that's what you clear, because it's clearing it through the human format. All right. Destiny, judgment. So this is like the call, basically, process, and the call of love. And the call of love comes to all of us, right? And it comes to us all along this journey. So basically that's what you experience the whole way through the process, is being called to feel true love in your heart. And in feeling that, there's a lot of sadness, and there's a lot of pain, and there's a lot of grief, as you are physically manifested, and the expectation of having that desire met is not manifesting. It has not manifested, or it manifests and then it goes away again. And that just requires more clearing around expectation not being met. The thing is, what does it feel like? If you've gone through that and you've had something leave you, something that felt like it was true love, something that it felt like it was the one, something that I felt like it was meant for you, like it was having the rug pulled from under you, it was having your life torn apart, your heart torn apart, right? If you go through that, and this process takes you through having to go through that, having that taken away from you, and that loss and all that feeling of loss and sadness and grief, that is part of the process. But the thing is, you're not going through that process so you can only be in that energy for the whole of your life. You're going through that so you will be moved into a better energy, where you are moving into something that is a representation of that in the physical format, because you have a destiny in this physical world that's linked to the process that you go through. That's why you come here, to meet that destiny. So never, ever, ever will you not meet that destiny in the physical dimension. Wherever you're standing, it's coming. You're putting it all in your vibration throughout the process. And maybe that when it went out and it caused the pain was because it wasn't quite right at the time. So you took from it what was and you put that in your vibration so you could meet that desire later whilst you go through the process, so you can match that desire that comes in. Because if you weren't ready for it in some way, because you're healing in some way what's coming through you energetically through lifetimes of desire not being met, then you need to be getting ready, and the process gets you ready for what can come in later. So, there we have got the same twin coming in. Sometimes for people, we've got a different person holding that energy of pure unconditional love coming in. The expectation being met at some point, the destiny being met, and the desires being met. So that is all in this lifetime, right? It's not ever not in this lifetime. It's just the sooner the brain is cleared, the sooner the vibration is cleared. This is a turn in vibration. The sooner the vibration can bring the process to conclusion and the destiny of the desire being met. Right? It's got to be, as well, if it's two people in this, if you've got connection to a twin flame, it's the desire in both of you being met. And that's two people's brains turning, two people's brains clearing the ego, two people coming to the conclusion of the desire being met inside of them through the vibration. It's the vibration that brings it. It's only cleared in the brain, right? And the destiny is harnessed by the vibration. So the brain's got to be cleared to get the vibration. See what I mean? There we go. Two of Swords. So that's ego over the heart. So you might be experiencing ego again as you move through this moon. So that is going to be sensations of loss and grief and sadness. All the Pisces things, really. Pisces is like a country singer singing a really sad song, So that's what's going to be coming through possibly at this moon. So maybe it's time to listen to some country music, and there's a sense of wallowing as well in it when you are going through these portals that are basically changing mechanisms inside you, which is clearing programming through to authenticity, which is freedom of expression, basically freedom of expression in the physical world of what is love. And as you're going through that, there's times and places that you'll be guided to go towards the heart in different ways, and just this one, because it's Pisces, it might be a bit wallowy, it might be a bit, the sadness brings relief, the chaining to the heart brings relief. So listening to sad songs and things like that, have a good cry, watching a sad movie, it can be very beneficial, because if you're going to be in the clearing the ego in the mind and you've got memories coming up and you've got this very disorganized energy around the mind coming up, as in just like pops of different memories, ego can take you into aggression, it can take you into anger, it can take you into bitterness. So a level up from that is actually sadness and grief. It's better than, in terms of where you're clearing the heart, it's better to feel sadness in terms of your twin flame at this point through this moon than it is to feel anger. Anger, they're saying, won't get you anywhere at this moon because it's not an angry moon. It's an emotional moon, right? And you are clearing out also justice, we've got underneath there. Clearing also the one you're connected to. So the feminine's clearing the masculine mind, and there needs to be some kind of kindness and relief here in the heart, in bringing that through for the masculine. Again, it's another wheel turning, right? In bringing that relief. There's some kind of relief coming after this moon, which is essential in meeting desires. And essentially, it's the masculine that comes forward at the end of this journey in terms of asking, again, starting a new wheel, which is asking for desires to be met in the physical. So a helping hand would be to go towards the sadness rather than the anger at this point, in helping them come through with that. Ending, 10 of Wands, so that's ending of everything, really. Ending of everything that's coming through you energetically. Sadness, anger, bitterness, hatred, regret, all these negative emotions that can come through you that aren't you, right? So everything that comes through on this journey is not really you, because you're healing through generations and generations. So just know that as well. See if you can slightly stand a part of it. I do feel this moon is going to be one where we're recorded into it a lot. Like I say, it's the mind here, the ego, and it's about clearing the mind. But as much as you can, you're standing apart from it and viewing it as a process that you're going through, as much as you humanly can, right? Because when you're human, it's not like you're viewing vibration all the time. Firstly, you're just viewing what is a linear lifetime that you're leading. And in that, when you're looking back, which you will do at this moon, you will be seeing where it has lacked, right? Where that physical life has lacked, where it has not delivered on the expectation of physical life. And how that should have had to have shown up for you, right? So you'll be viewing that again. So just try and stay in a broader perspective of it, basically. We've got 2 Wands, new road forward. So we're stepping out of the physical realm, really, at this moon, stepping into vibration, stepping into clearing vibration. So, and you can't do that, like we say, it's not just walking towards the light, shedding a fur coat, which would be lovely, wouldn't it? It's like you have to go into the dark alleyways down the side, or even let the things out the dark alleyways come towards you. And this is what this is like, actually. It's more like you're walking down a road and things are coming out at you. Remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this. And you have to keep walking, but it's not like you're not going to notice them coming out of the side alleys at you, right? And those emotions from those experiences hitting you as these like shadows come out, you're going to be experiencing that. We've got physical form showing up. That's desires that haven't been met. So it will be met in the physical world. I know at some points on this journey it seems like, well, when the hell will they be met? It's been like a whole lifetime of them not being met, right? See, that's moving forward, and it's healing what's coming towards you. It's always healing in terms of its clearing vibration of what is negative, so that you can have these desires met in the physical world. So just know that whatever you experience always is moving you forward towards that, basically. Work in the physical world, wisdom, ending of a cycle. And what have we got here? It's got the wounded warrior coming out on the ego. So basically clearing the ego of the masculine. This one is not about, it's about desire. So it's not about, what we're going to say, it's not really about clearing anything that is not about you. That's how I need to put it. It's about clearing everything that's about you, this one. It's about clearing in all the ways that the desires with you weren't met in them. It's the same thing. So where you're going to get the memories coming up, it's going to be connected memories a lot of the time. Memories of them, things that were said, things that weren't said, things that were right, things that were wrong, things that should have been different, right? Because it's expectations not being met around desires. So it'll be all those things coming up. In a sense, it's work, right? Comes through your physical body. It's the work of achieving wisdom and the ending of a cycle, because no matter how many times you go through this process and in these circles in clearing inside of yourself, you're always coming into more wisdom. And as you move through, like I said, to the end of the process, what happens is these little thoughts pop in and you have an immediate let go. And the let go is the healing. The let go is, I'm not going to think about that. It's negative, it's not positive. I'm not doing that. It's like you come into a self-willed momentum around the thoughts that come in and the memories come in. And as you clear that way at the end of the process, that's what they're coming into as well. They're coming into the same wisdom of, that's how I need to operate inside my brain I mustn't think about the negative things. There's no point thinking this. What's the point of thinking this? This isn't going to answer what I want. Thinking about these negative past things doesn't answer what they want. And they can only go through this process so far. And when you get to this feeling, which you're going to have with this moon, which is, I've had enough, basically. I've had enough of this now. Carrying this on my back, this experience that I'm going through that they call twin flame. It's really, we're reaching, it's the end of a cycle. This again, number 9, it's this feeling of it's just gone on too long. I just can't do this anymore. I just don't want to have to feel like this anymore. I just don't have to exist like this anymore. When you're feeling that, they're coming to that conclusion as well, mind over heart. So mind over heart is where they've spent a whole process where you've been connected, arguing inside themselves about justifying how they're not meeting their needs, meeting their desires, which can only come from you, and meeting them with you, right? And they've tried to justify that. It's not doing them any good. Look at that man on the knees down there. He's at the end of it. He's a number 9 as well. It's like sooner or later, you've got to meet your desires, because if you don't, what's the point of being alive? This is really the conclusion. It's really the end it's the end of the journey for the masculine. This is the end of his process. It's like, he has to rise up and he has to say, okay, no matter what's gone on, no matter how I felt, no matter what I've told myself, no matter how much I've talked myself out of doing something that would feel good, and no matter how much I've tried to talk myself into chaining myself to feeling shit just for the sake of not doing something, I've got to now just get on with it. So where you're not feeling this get up and go, get on with it energy is because they're on their knees not feeling get up and go and get on with it, because they're coming to the end of the cycle in terms of they're going to get up off their knees and say, right, I am just going to make that call. I am just going to send that letter, right? This is a letter, the writing of the letter that they're going to do, or the email or the text or whatever it is, that just starts another wheel turning, and the wheel turning will be what physically is shown up, which is like relationship coming where desires can be met. Not straight away, obviously, because there's got to be a certain amount of getting to know you, getting to know all about you, is what they say, right? Hanged Man process, communication, Ace of Swords, which is moving towards brand new communication, destiny and judgment, a now moment. So when they always bang on about this now moment, right, the only thing here that's important to understand is that your now moment, no matter what it's looking like to you from where you're physically standing in your life, you're always clearing vibration, basically. And it's going on without you even knowing it a lot of the time, by how you go into your ego and come out of your ego with more sense of purpose and direction around your own individual process and moving forward in your life. So how you're harnessed to this twin flame energy is through your individual aspiration of life. So every time you get up and you start again and you're like, right, I'm just going to get on with my life. Let me put this whole thing behind me now. This thing here, right? Let me just get on with my life. Every time you do that, although you're not getting up in the energy of having your desires met, you're still getting up in the energy of the present moment. You're meeting the present moment. You may appear to be meeting it in a physical way, but actually what it is your energy meeting the present moment in a way that is harnessing vibration in a good way. And in that way you move forward energetically, right? So that's kind of the relation to the present moment. And in relation to that present moment, you can see how when anything you do in your physical world that's about you getting up and moving on or making a way forward in some way. So that could be going out the back door into the garden and filling a bird feeder. We're not talking about moving across the world or moving into a brand new career necessarily, although those things also count. It's just anything that you do when you get up. Maybe you get up and you shave your legs for after the winter, anything like that where you've just like done something that's different to the day before, that's meeting the world head on, because maybe you're going to be wearing a pair of shorts soon, something like that. Could be as simple as that. It's like you're meeting the energy of the present moment by doing something new, right? It's clarifying for the energy to do that. And it means that you're harnessing present moment, and you can bring your reunion into the present moment, because your reunion is in your vibration. It's not in your mind. It's not in your heart. It's in your vibration, because everything you've ever desired is in your vibration. Everything you desired from the minute you were born is in your vibration. So if you meet the present moment head on, you're going to be meeting the vibration. But that is coming after, right? That's after here. This moon is about just understanding as well, when energy is running through you and it's about clearing, you can't sometimes get up and do anything. So you've got to value, you've got to be meeting the energy of whatever is being asked of you at the time, right? So if it's asking you to lie down, drink wine, take yourself offline, meaning take your brain out of the game, not be thinking, meditating, napping, even watching a funny movie, listening to music, anything that will take you out of your thinking is good, because then they can help you with clearing the programs that are running through your mind that you're clearing. It can be more comfortable in clearing that programming. And if that's being asked of you, which it will be at this moon, then do that. Follow spirit, right, in the direction the wheel's turning. So we're doing a sweep. It's going backwards sometimes over this moon, that energy, which means you won't be able to move forward, but afterwards you will. Afterwards you will. Clarity and creating in the physical world. So that's going to be later on next week, I think, I feel. It could be, sometimes the energy just snaps and things return to, like the moment wheel's going backwards, right? It snaps and the wheel starts to go forward again, and it can just happen really suddenly. Sometimes it can happen as soon as like the time of the moon, when you hit that new moon. But sometimes it can extend, that energy can extend either side of the moon. But I feel like we've been in this energy for a while now, like a week, maybe a week and a half, even 2 weeks of this kind of low energy moving in, because it was a Virgo moon, and that was about healing and through the physical body. So there's a lot of physical body stuff coming up. And then this one is a very emotional one. So this is tied to emotions, that's desires. When you experience emotions in your physicalness, in your physical incarnate life, your emotions are your desires. There isn't a separation from that. So really you could just call your emotions desires. Because one love is not a desire, it's just freedom. But anyway, but this is an emotional moon, so this is about desires, basically. And the desires, you only have desires when you're experiencing the physical, and you only have that experience of desires not being met, or feeling like they're not being met in the physical, because it's a very physically derived thing. You come into a physical life, therefore your desires should be met. And that is the way we're moving forward. But in the process we go through, we have to go through experiencing, understanding and greeting and honouring and accepting and acknowledging desires not being met, to understand how it would be better for desires to be met, and moving into the energy of only operating from the heart. And then having desires met, that's the process that we're going through. And it's a process of balancing a masculine and feminine energy inside of us and inside of one other individual that we're connected to, that's a replication of what we're going through. So it's like dismantling the brain and moving into the heart, a cleared vibration from that process, right? And then desires being met. So let's go on there. Oh, look, yeah. Heartbreak. So it's basically what we're going to feel this moon. It's like the knives of the brain. The knives of the brain going into the heart. It's the memories coming up, stabbing the heart, the feelings of loss, feelings of sadness, feelings of grief, feelings of utter despair, basically, are going to be coming up. So then just put yourself in a comfortable place for the duration and know that that is what's coming up. Don't fight it. Don't fight it by feeling you should be feeling different if it's coming up, because you're not supposed to be feeling different. This is completing a cycle. It's completing the cycle for the masculine. So it's, again, just make yourself comfortable for the duration and know, as the broader perspective, it will clear when the job is done. And you will have a brand new start, not for you and them, not in that way. I mean, you will at some point, but this is about you'll feel better and you'll get up again, right? And you'll get up again and you'll get moving and you'll be like, well, what was all that about? Look, clarity and creation in the physical. You're just going to, after this moon at some point, get back up, just feel different and be like, well, what was all that about? I feel fine now. I feel perfectly fine. Let me get on with doing something. Right? Because it's not you, it's them, and it's not you, it's everybody else. It's everyone you've ever been connected to, ancestrally, coming through you, coming towards you for clearing. So healing, generationally, genealogy, healing everything, basically. It's the healing of everything. Coming through your physical being, the Pisces, and spirituality, 12th house, Pisces, it's everything, right? So it's every single, you could even say it's like every single person that you're connected to that's never had love coming through you in the healing of heartbreak, not just the one that you're connected to. Every single person. Right? It's like a duty and a sacrifice that you come here for, in terms of like the sacrifice is, it looks like you're not having a physical life. The duty is the clearing that you do for generationally, to change the paradigm of this reality and to change the template of humanity. So yeah, duty and healing, service, right? And emotions, reunion, healing, divine love. That's what it's all about. That's how those things are connected. It's why your life doesn't look like it's your own, or why it looks like you don't have a life, at some points. Anyway, so that's the energy of this moon. And then I'll come back with another video with a little tiny snippet for each star sign as we go through. All right, and if you wanted to get a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. Okay, lots of love. Take care, bye.